What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fake Philosophers. Today, I am Mike. Every day, I'm Mike. Today, I'm also Mike. And with me today is Mitch.
Hi.
And
to be frank, I would have to change my name.
Yeah. How long is a Chinaman's name? So today we're gonna go do a little bit of a Mitch's listisis.
Yeah.
Mitch's listisis. Gonna go through a list and critique it, make fun of it, joke around about it, take it seriously, depending on what the list is. I don't know yet. We'll see.
We're shooting for 37 minutes today.
37 exactly.
So if we go over, again, comment, let us know. And
yell at us. Yeah, and then, but first, before we get into it, we're going to go back to our very special segment, Not Brought to You By, where we talk about a company that we don't do business with. And not necessarily because they have a bad product, it's because we don't like their advertising. Their advertising irritates us, annoys us, pisses us off. Take your pick, all three, more, whatever.
An example is Mike, for whatever reason, loves Pepsi. But I hate their commercials.
The one commercial.
That one.
You said.
You know what?
And you know the commercial.
You know that commercial. Anyway.
You know the commercial.
So, nothing to do with the product. Their commercial sucks. Their business should suck.
Yes, and that's what we're going with. So today, this episode, not brought to you by Honda.
What did Honda do?
The vehicle company. They, for me...
What did Honda's marketing division do?
It on the surface, it comes off as very sweet. But if you really think about it, dick move. Okay. The helpful Honda ads are the most bullshit ads I've ever seen. Because granted, I've heard that they actually do like good things for people.
Okay.
But it's the equivalent of, I'm a nice guy, so you should fuck me.
Do you have a commercial example or one you're thinking about in particular?
All of them. They change every 3 weeks. That there's a new, on the radio, they'll call hi, I'm a helpful Honda person.
Oh yeah, those. Okay.
And they have video commercials too on TV.
But worst. Okay, yeah, I'm on board now.
Yeah, because then it's like today we helped Mitch get a microphone for his podcast, and we can help you buy a new car.
They always do that real interview, or that's an actual phone conversation, and there's always the yes, hello. Hi, I'm a helpful Honda person.
Oh, yes. You misfired. Hi, is this Carrie? Yeah.
Yes, hello?
I'm Joe, a helpful Honda person, and I like to help you.
So we hear you're having trouble with cancer lately. Is that true?
Yes, I was diagnosed with cancer about 3 years ago.
But you could tell, though, because I've read those are actual real calls. But one, the person knows they're calling.
Yeah.
And two, you could tell they're so heavily edited. Because then it's
yes.
It's well, guess what, Cindy? Today, we're going to help your kids get to school.
Really?
And there's a pause oh my God, I'm so excited. It's so... and it is clearly not a connect of where...
Terrible commercial.
I feel like someone actually calls and records the person, and then someone else with a better speaking voice
does the other half.
Records back.
Absolutely.
But I hate them. Because at first, I think, like I said, on the surface, it looks nice, cool. They're doing nice things. So I heard, like I said, they are helping people. But I'm like, so your selling point is look how nice we are. Buy a car from us.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the car selling equivalent of, I've been such a nice guy to you, so fuck me.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And I think Danny disagreed with me. He's like, every company does nice things for public perception. And I was like, yeah, but they don't. And all guys are nice to try to get fucked. But when
you're not subtle about it,
when you're expecting it, when it's an expectation, when you're asking hey Mitch, or not you, hey, you saw I helped that lady across the street, right? Yeah. So you're gonna suck my dick tonight, right? No. Sell your car.
There's the guy at the bar who's like, yeah, I take care of my brother. He's, he's kind of, he's a little slow. He stays at my place, and I like to take care of him. Take him on trips, and it's no big deal or whatever. Compared to, I donated my last paycheck to AIDS research. So
suck my dick. So that means.
So there's subtle ways to go about it. Honda.
It even boils down to the bar thing. Hey, I bought you a couple drinks, so we're gonna make out outside, right? I would almost prefer it if they just did the nice thing commercial and said, we're Honda, we did a nice thing for Cindy today, and end it.
And then done.
But when the phrase is, today we helped Cindy get cancer treatment for her kids, and we could help you buy a new car. You know what I mean? If you just do the nice thing and stop. It's
so good.
So if and you've seen it, like, where if you did something really like manly around the house, you helped your wife out, like you moved a shelf, and she's like, "Look at Mitch, I married that man. Look at him moving that shelf. I'm gonna suck his dick." But if you were moving the shelf and you turned around, you're like, "Hey, this is really good, right? So you're gonna suck my dick, right?" She's gonna be like, "Not anymore.
not anymore.
Not anymore." I wanted to, but if you're expecting it,
That's true. Oh man, I think like halfway through the Honda commercial, I was like, oh, you know what? That's pretty cool of Honda. Maybe I should consider. Oh, never mind.
oh, they're selling me a car.
no, they're selling me a
this
car.
this is why they're doing that.
No. So, not brought to you by
Not brought to you by Honda, the nice guy of cars.
nice guy. Finished last. Yeah. So Mitch's list is today. I had a few options. We looked over. We could do the random number generator thing again. That was pretty funny, but we already just decided on one. Today's list is 18 reasons. Hold on, where's my? There it is. Take a drink real quick. 18 reasons to quit drinking alcohol. All right. This is put out by Sauna Lake Recovery Center. See, I just Googled it. I think I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and I'm like, "What are some good fun lists or whatever?" And of course, I had a whiskey in my hand, and she was like, "How about reasons not to drink?" And I didn't realize that this message she was trying to tell me, and I thought that was just a great idea. So I just found this.
She's like, "No, Mitch, you have a problem."
I mean, it's not that empty.
No.
Anyway,
We'll include a link to the help center in the description too.
this is not like a previous list where it was like an article put out by someone. This is actually put out by a recovery center of 18 reasons to quit drinking alcohol. So Mike and I glanced over the first few initially just to make sure that they were like worth talking about, not just whatever. And so far they're pretty like, common sense kind of stuff. So we'll see here. So since there's no real writer to blame,
There's someone to blame. They just don't have the name on it.
yeah, we'll find it somewhere. But anyway.
We'll just rip on the help center.
Yeah, the sauna.
These sons of bitches.
SANA. Look, and honestly, if you have a problem, go to recovery. Is that my good deed for today?
You're getting laid tonight.
This episode not brought to you by Sauna Recovery. Okay.
I'll text your wife saying you did a good thing.
Segue, but seriously, let's get into this.
Yes.
18 reasons to stop drinking alcohol, to quit drinking alcohol. Reasons to quit drinking now. Why should I give up alcohol? Number 1, you save money. Now, I love this because they took the American approach. It's like, if you want the answer, anything fixed in America, money. That's the way to do it. And I think anyone out there would agree. Yeah, you know what? I could save a lot. If I had tea instead of alcohol, I'd probably be saving a lot of money.
But the save money makes sense. But like, you could save money doing a lot of things.
I mean, I save money by drinking at home alone rather than
That's
going
how
to
I
a
look
bar.
at it too.
So
You're saving 75% right there.
And I drink way more than I would in a bar.
You're getting things done now.
I'm efficient. So far, this list is just off to a bad.
The money. I feel like the money thing is always, like you said, an appealing first. Of course, it's number one. You lead with, but at the same time, like, I could save money by not going to fast food.
Yeah.
I could save money by doing a lot of things, but
I could save money by not having the internet. That's a huge jump. I'm sorry.
No, but you save money by doing a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
if so, this is a help center. If you're an alcoholic, and someone's trying to convince you to stop drinking, the money is not going to work.
He's like, look, I buy Stater Brothers brands handles of vodka. Do you really think I care about the money? I got a liter.
Dude's losing his house because he's drinking. Fine. If it's just drinking strictly, money's not.
I mean, you can make the point that it's not only just buying the alcohol, but how much more it's how much more efficient would you be not hungover every day? How much more money could you be making if you were clean and sober?
So now you're thinking down the line. Now you're thinking like the domino.
Now we're meta about it.
Mm-hmm. Domino effect.
Yeah.
Save money, not now on the alcohol, but what you could be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Okay.
Stretch of an argument. You could probably convince an alcoholic with that. I'm not too convinced, but it's a nice. It sounds good.
I wouldn't say you're an alcoholic though, so it's
touche.
Number 2, you feel better. That's not true. When I drink, I feel amazing.
There's a reason why people drink.
I know what they're trying to say. It's like,
Is it like a depression thing?
people often forget that alcohol is not healthy for you. Yes, research proves that 1 or 2 drinks can prevent certain diseases such as coronary heart disease. Really? Oh, okay. However, binge drinking and chronic alcohol use disorder are extremely dangerous when you drink in excess. Okay, so long-term health effects of drinking a lot.
Well, that's health effects. That's not feeling better.
Right. I mean, if I don't know if you ever, but if you ever like woken up without a hangover, it feels awesome.
What does that feel?
Yeah, it's just I'm joking, but like yeah, that's what I thought they were gonna go with is like, you know, if you don't drink, you'll stop feeling hungover every morning and it'll feel better. Feel better. That's a weird one.
It needs to be more specific.
Well, number 3, no more hangovers. So, okay.
Well, that's one of those things like, okay, no more hangovers, but let's do the pros and cons list.
Hangover, I mean, maybe as you get older, hangovers last longer, but...
See, I've heard that, but the worst hangover I've ever had, I was like 17. I still remember it. It lasted like 3 days.
Really?
I got blitzed.
I think that's called alcohol poisoning.
That you might have an argument there.
Yeah. I had a buddy who spent his paycheck at a bar once, and like he was out for like 2 or 3 days because I think he's just alcohol poisoned.
I got to a point, and I'd never experienced this since or before. I was drinking Crown out of the bottle, and I didn't taste it.
Ooh.
So it was down.
That's yeah.
I think it was 2 or 3 days that hangover lasted.
Yeah. It could be too that like with more experience, this is terrible. We're not,
You have to work your way up.
We're not convincing anyone to stop drinking.
If you want no more hangovers, you have to train yourself.
I think it's like that. Okay, if I keep drinking, I'm not going to feel much better tonight, and I'm going to feel even worse tomorrow. So I think now is the point where I should stop. You know, I know myself. I can have this many drinks. How do I feel? I feel all right. I think I can have another one, or no, that's it, or whatever. So maybe that's
You know, it's worse than a hangover, in my opinion. So this is a unique situation I never felt before. In college, me and my roommate decided, let's scrap drink. Scrap drinking to me, by the way, is...
I've never heard this term.
We made it up.
Okay.
Or I made it up, but the concept is we don't have money to buy more beer. So whatever's in our home, we're drinking.
Okay.
So like if me and you were roommates and you drank nothing but Bud Light, and I wanted to drink, I'd be like, fuck, I'm going to go to the store and get the beer I like.
Yeah.
But if I don't have money, I'm drinking Mitch's Bud Light. So we went through, like, because we had, there was 4 of us that lived at the time. We went through the fridge. There was some shit beer in there that we drank. I think his girlfriend, he lived at the time, like, we found, like, UV Blue vodka.
Wow.
So we're mixing that. Yeah. We got blitzed. At some point, it was like 4 or 5 a.m., and I was like, oh, shit, I have a class at 10. So I went to bed. I woke up, took a shower. Granted, I only lived, like, 3 or 4 blocks from the campus. Mm-hmm. But on that short drive, I was like, I am still hammered. Not hungover.
Just
I am still hammered right now. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, okay. So I got to class. Like I said, I showered at least. And I sat down, and this chick that I would sit next to, and it was a stage management class. I still remember. I was like, hey, we're just talking. And I think you know this about me. Generally speaking, I'm pretty good at handling myself when I'm drunk. With a couple of occasions where I just go too much.
Personally, I've never seen you like...
That's my point.
Whoa.
That's my point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You have.
Really?
But I'm pretty good at handling myself.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm sitting there. It's 10 o'clock, and the girl next to me said, "Hey," I was like, "How's it going?" We have a small chat, and I was like, "Hey, this is a weird question. Do I seem drunk to you?" And she was like, "Not at all. Why?" And I was like, "I'm fucking hammered right now." And she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I am fucking wasted right now." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Don't ask. I just want to make sure I didn't look." Like, she was still, I knew. I was like, I just want to make sure I didn't look fucking plastered. She's like, you look fine. I was like, great.
Did you ever watch Workaholics when it was on, or reruns? Or whatever?
I haven't. I want to. I just haven't.
Okay, there is an episode where they because they drink on the roof or whatever, and they start drinking, and they wake up the next day, and everything's just thrashed. You know, one of them wakes up on another roof kind of thing, and there's like, wow, oh my God, we got to get to work. I don't feel hungover. This is great. I must have had like 18 beers or whatever. And they get in their car and they're going to work, and he runs over like a bush or something, and they're like, oh my God, we're still drunk. That's why we still. And so the whole episode becomes them trying to get alcohol before the hangover kicks in.
Well, so that's what I was getting at. is what's worse than the hangover. So that day, I know I had that class, and I might have had another like sit down lecture hall class, but I had a dance class. I was a theater major, so you had to take dance.
No judgment. I'm not
No,
judging.
but some people are like, why'd you take like theater? We have to take dance,
Guys take dance classes now, guys.
and it was modern.
Yeah.
I forgot if it was
Modern
modern.
dance,
It might have been hip hop. I'm not sure.
that's
Hip hop, rock and roll dance, hard rock and roll,
Yeah.
pussy dance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we love the pussy. But so I forgot at what time of the day. So when typically you drink, you get hammered, you go to bed, you wake up, oh, I'm hungover. You never experience the transition.
The transition. Oh.
That day, I was hammered in the morning still. So through the day, I was transitioning to hungover,
Coming down.
and it was so fucking awful.
That's what the recovery centers call coming down. When,
yeah,
you're,
so
when you're
with-
high and you're
withdrawing,
coming down.
yeah.
And, oh, man.
But like drinking specifically, I've never like no one. You rarely experience that because
Yeah.
you're sleeping when it happens.
Yeah.
So like I felt like it started like all of a sudden my head started hurting, like I was moving in my gut, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like because it's one thing just to have it.
Yeah.
It's another thing to feel it creeping in.
Oy.
Like finding out like, oh hey, there's a bullet in my shoulder that hurts, or getting shot. Like, and
Both are pretty bad. One is worse.
one is worse. And so, yeah, and I went to my my class, the dance class, and I was just like, "Fuck, I'm gonna throw up if I have to dance." And the guy, the instructor was really nice. This gay dude teaching the class, and he's super nice.
You had to point that out.
Well, because what he said to me, I was kind of like, "Hey, like I'm not feeling that good. Like, is it okay if I just sit and watch today?" Because like dance classes for the most part, they teach you a little technique. And throughout a couple weeks, they'll show you a routine. At the end of a few weeks, you do the routine, you get graded. I was like, "Is it cool if I just sit and watch today? Because I'm not feeling too good." And he's like, "Oh, honey, are you like what's wrong?" And I was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, super hungover right now." And he was like, "Oh, sweetie, sit down, you're fine." And I was like, "Great, thank you." I was like, "Thank you."
Love college.
But yeah, so getting back to the question, worse than a hangover
is coming down.
transitioning to the hangover, because most of the time you're asleep.
It's why if I day drink, it means all day drink. I don't have a drink in the middle of the day and then just leave it.
Yeah, you don't party from noon to 3 and then just hang out.
Just decide you're going to have a good evening because you're going to have a terrible evening. It's like if you're going to start drinking, and I mean drinking, like if you have a beer with lunch, that's one thing. If you go to a microbrewery in the middle of the day, have a couple, whatever. I mean, if you've had more than 2 or 3 in the afternoon, woohoo, day drinking. I keep drinking, like at least to just maintain it the rest of the day, because I do not want to come down in the middle of the day because it's just terrible.
It's fucking horrible. Yeah.
Ugh, drink a lot of water and
Yes.
then go to bed.
Lessons learned.
Number four.
Number 4.
Reasons to quit drinking, besides listening to us talk about our horrible lives.
This will encourage you to drink.
Number 4, no more guilt over your drinking. Okay. So what? Okay,
that's
you should
specific.
Quit, you should quit drinking so that way you don't feel guilty about drinking. Yeah. I'm going to stop cussing so I don't feel bad about cussing.
I should really stop sleeping with other women so that I don't feel guilty
That was dumb.
about cheating on my lady.
I thought like this whole list is like, these are reasons you should feel guilty for drinking.
This is the
Number
reason
4.
for you to stop.
Is
Yeah. So you stop feeling guilty.
Do loved ones express concern over your drinking? ? Do your little kids look at you and ask you to stop? God, okay.
Little kid. There's a group or one of those tag groups I'm in on Facebook, and it's like, that kid did not say that.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, my kid said like, oh, a dog."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. And it's like, your
It's like,
fucking kid
shut
did not
up,
say
you
that.
did not say that. Yeah, I love that.
That's that. Just your young child show concern. Like, yeah, my 3-year-old really pissed off that I'm drinking.
Granted, we're not the. Apparently, it's more common than I've ever come to contact. But like a lot of people are angry drunks, though. They drink and they get angry and they get violent and whatever. But any of my friends, myself included, I think is like when I drink, I get way too happy and way too confident and say way too much.
I would say I'm whatever mood I'm already in.
Oh, okay.
It's just amplified.
So alcohol is just an exclamation point.
Yeah, if I'm because I'm normally a chill alcoholic. Like, I was about to say chill alcoholic. I'm normally a chill drunk anyway. But like if I'm drunk and I'm chilling, I'm having a decent time, and someone's like, "Hey, your mom committed suicide," that sadness is going to be
Way
obviously
more
over the top. Yeah.
because of it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it breaks down inhibitions and
Yeah.
vino veritas. It's like
For the most part, though, if I go into drinking with a mood, I usually ride that.
that's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, and I hate when people say alcohol made me do this, made me do that. I've always believed that you become your true self when you're drinking. It's that the inhibitions are down, and it's like this is not your true self. That may not be fair, but it's like whatever your core wants. Were.
Well, and a perfect example too, and this is necessarily like you're going to feel guilty about drinking, but a lot of people say when they do, I use this as a funny example, like when people are like, "Oh, I cheated on my wife, babe, you don't understand. I was drunk," and it's like all that is so the door's been open,
Yeah,
but the alcohol is what made you walk through it.
I like that actually.
You know what I mean?
Pretty,
Like, that you suddenly just didn't cheat,
yeah,
because you drank.
no, yeah,
You've had the idea in your head,
yeah.
And let's be honest, there's probably a lot of relationships where they're completely faithful the entire time,
Yeah.
but in the back of their head, they're like, "Should I?"
Yeah.
So
It should have been
it's
addressed.
not like you just went to the bar, got drunk, and suddenly was like, maybe I should cheat. Like, no,
No.
there's been a seed in your brain.
Yeah. There is a case to be made. I mean, I might just be biased because like there is a case to be made. It's like, okay, what someone says when they're sober should be more valid than what they say when they're drunk. If you're cussing or you say inappropriate things and stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, he said that horrible stuff. He said those off-color jokes or dirty jokes and all that stuff when he was drunk, but he was drunk and his inhibitions were down. When he's sober, he tries his best. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Are you saying the if someone's saying these things when they're drunk, it's more valid?
no, I'm saying the drunk should be taken into account, but not an excuse. Like not like that shouldn't write off everything. He's like, well, he was drunk. He was saying a lot of stuff, but he was drunk, so it's fine. But it's like, okay, it's an element of it, but it's not a
Yeah, cause I think because there's an argument to be made that if they say a drunk mind speaks sober, or a drunk mouth drinks a sober mind.
yes.
I'm still getting off a little bit,
Drunk mouth. Yes. Yeah.
but because you're saying things that soberly, like when you're sober, you wouldn't say.
right.
So there's that, and then there's also like there's things that I don't believe, but if I'm drunk and I'm mad at you, I will say things to hurt you. I'm not really that spiteful of a person, but
Right.
I'm just saying that as an example.
Right. Yeah.
To where like you could say I honestly did not mean what I said, but I was drunk and I was mad.
I guess another comparison I would make. Yeah, I see that
Yeah.
point. But I guess another comparison I was making is like what people when people in public office or celebrities or whatever, what they say in private versus what they say in public, kind of thing. When a politician says, "I believe this, this, and this, and this," but in private they said something off color, so everyone holds on to what that private conversation was,
Sure.
and it's like that's what they come down on. I can't think of what president it was, but there was a president. I think I'm going to spend the rest of the time trying to figure out who it was, but he had said very anti-Semitic things in private, and people had reported that he said these things in private, but publicly, all his actions and all his words were not anti-Semitic. He was actually very pro the Jewish community and stuff like that because of what he did for them and stuff like that. And so people, the debate is, from my opinion is what they say publicly and what they do publicly weighs way more. In fact, almost trumps whatever they say in private because I care more about what they do. In
Actions
private.
speak louder than
So
words.
a drunk words are what you're thinking, but a sober words are more what you're actually doing. I guess is that kind of what
It's
I'm trying
kind
to
of
say.
a roundabout metaphor, but I understand. I think
It's way different. I'm acknowledging that, but it's a different. Let's get back to the list.
moving on.
Moving on. Number 5. No more apologizing. This goes back to the guilt thing. How many times you get drunk and do something stupid? If you don't get drunk ever again, you'll never have to apologize for what you did when you were drunk.
And we're going off on tangents, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So I remember a while back, and I'm gonna kind of go on a soapbox about look how good I am, and I don't mean to, but it's an example.
Go for it.
I think it was on Facebook. I posted something saying like I've been hammered before, but I don't understand the shitty things people do when they're hammered. Like I don't. And a friend of ours actually messaged me and said like, "Hey, I read what you posted, and I think it's because you are generally a good guy with an honor code, et cetera, et cetera." She's a little dramatic in her words, but she's like, "So even when you're drunk, you still have a guidelines that guide you. So you still have a code, if you will. So you don't do these things." So 99% of the time, if I get hammered, I have nothing to apologize for because I don't do shitty things when I'm drunk.
Interesting.
Unless I get hammered and I bump the lamp over and I break it, then of course I'm like, oh, sorry, babe, like I broke the fucking lamp. But like as far as like serious things, that's I'm imagining they're not talking about the lamp breaking.
Yeah.
I generally have not done shitty things when I've been drunk.
What's the worst you've done? If you like the worst you've done, what has there been any nights where you looked back and thought,
you mean like morally speaking, or like I just
even by your own standards, like that was I should not have done
so
that.
I remember
I'm embarrassed of myself.
So twice on my, but even in the circumstances, I conducted myself well. On my 21st birthday, I ended up throwing up outside of TGI Fridays.
Nice.
But we were inside, and I was like, and I went outside, sat on the bench, and threw up.
Nice.
So at least I conducted myself. In my head, I'm like, fuck, that was embarrassing, especially because I was trying to hook up with the chick at the time who was sitting there rubbing my back, and I was like, fuck. But at least I conducted myself correctly.
Yeah.
Second time was I was at a bar, so it was in Vegas when I lived in Vegas. My roommate at the time, same one I was scrap drinking with, had like a party at the apartment. So a bunch of people were over, but I really didn't know all of his friends. But I was sitting there, I was drinking a little bit. And around like maybe 1 a.m., a friend of mine, she's like, hey, like, let's head to Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law was a bar, our local bar at the time. And I was like, yeah, sure, because I don't know these fucking people. So I'd already been drinking. I went to the bar, started drinking with her, and we got fucking plastered. And thankfully, this bar in Vegas is open 24 hours. Because if I was forced to leave at 2 a.m., I would have gotten into a car accident. But so at some point, they had like this area with like couches. And we went over there to sit down. And I was like, fuck. And I got up and I ran to the restroom. I ended up throwing up in the urinal just because it was coming.
Yeah.
And after I threw up in the urinal, I moved to the toilet, finished my business, went back to the couch, and knocked the fuck out. So that was pretty bad. I woke up at like 7 a.m. She was gone because she was just the same thing. She had already left. The bartender had put a bottle of water down. And I was like, great. And there's an argument to be made there about 24-hour bars. Because if it was not a 24-hour bar, I'd be fucked. Anyway, so that was really bad. But like even those options though, I didn't really do anything shitty. And that's my point though. Like maybe it's because I've grown up in that business that I just know what not to do.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I honestly I can't remember where like I got completely fucking hammered and then just did something utterly repulsive.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not saying I'm such a good guy, but like,
yeah, no, that's good. It's a good.
But I can't. I've thrown up somewhere. I've maybe bumped into something and broken it, but it's not like I got drunk and ruined someone's life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I've never done anything that bad, but yeah. I think the most embarrassing night I think is one time after a Christmas party at one of my old jobs. We went to a bar afterwards. It was I can't think of it, but anyway, it's another local bar, not your bar. It was another local bar. Should I say the name?
Is it still open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a mafia themed name.
Oh,
that one.
Yeah.
It was I was drunk getting there, and we were there for like 4 hours. It was a whole group, like whatever. So, and I kept drinking, and it was like one of those like the things I look back that are embarrassing is when I'm if it's true that the alcohol just accentuates what you already are. I talk too much, and I'm usually pretty loud. So when I'm drunk, I talk way too much, and I'm a lot louder. And
okay.
And so it's
okay.
Yeah, I mean you've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I have.
So at this bar, I was even like leaning over to our friend's table, taking their beer and taking a sip and putting it back, kind of thing. That just embarrassing stuff. Ended up with like me out. They have a little outdoor smoking, well, like tables and stuff outdoor with like what do they call it? The
cover.
Yeah, cover, whatever. I was doing pull-ups on the cover and then going into the planter and puking, and like to the point where the bouncer was telling my friends like, you gotta get your friend out of here. We can't have him throwing up in the planter.
Yeah.
So that was one I always look back and think of. It was one of those I woke up the next morning. I'm like, the suffering, you deserve it. Okay, and I texted my friend. I'm like, what did I do? And he was telling me what I was doing.
Broke it down.
And I'm like, I deserve this. Feel it. You remember this, you piece of shit. You're terrible.
No, I feel that.
So,
but even then, I wouldn't say that you did anything like, because in the context of what they're talking about with apologizing, it's like you got drunk and called your wife a cunt, or you got drunk and you said her mother is a whore and you hate her family.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're talking about more apologizing for.
Probably.
Because like even then you're like, oh shit, sorry, but it's not like you hurt anyone. It's not like you.
Yeah.
I think with them it's more like if you're saying sorry for doing something shitty.
Yeah.
Not sorry because you're acting like a fucking
I'm sorry
animal.
because I'm embarrassed. That's like I'm
Yes.
yeah, kind of yeah. Like Friendsgiving, I had too much, and I was like, I was talking too loud, and I browned out the latter half of the night.
But you didn't.
I don't think I made anyone too uncomfortable, but it was at the same time of like, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed because I let myself.
But I think that what they're talking about in the list is not apologizing because you're embarrassed of what you did. You're apologizing because you actually did something bad.
Yeah.
And you fucked up.
Probably.
I think that's what, because if you're not going to go to a rehab center because you got drunk at a bar and got tossed out. You're going to rehab because
you backed over your kid when you were
backed over your kid. That's why you apologized. Sorry, babe.
Son, I'm sorry. But it's the alcohol.
Yeah, it wasn't me. The alcohol backed up the truck into your head.
Why am I laughing? That happens. Okay. Number 6. We got 18 of it. Number 6. Gain self-confidence. Now that's not true because I get super confident. Like first sip, I'm like, what are we doing? I'm doing it.
Who we fighting?
I'll do it twice. I'll do it twice. What are we doing?
Gain self-confidence.
Divide by net -1. I'll figure it out tonight.
The gain self-confidence.
Okay, let's see what the explanation.
I don't need to gain self-confidence. I feel like they're doing the whole thing like you don't need to drink anymore because all you need is you.
Okay, this is quitting alcohol is not easy. So when you quit, you develop a newfound sense of self-confidence. You realize you are in control and not alcohol, and that is a powerful feeling.
That is if you think alcohol already had control of you.
Yeah, again, it's that what you were saying about the audience of who's reading this. Whoever's reading this is probably obviously like just giving up, and which is a good thing. It's a good. To be clear, I think it's a really good thing because I have relatives that struggle with this, and
Same.
And it's like when you're at that point when you realize you have a problem and you admit you have a problem, that is ballsy.
Yeah.
And to get over that is amazing. So yeah, okay. You gain self-confidence by overcoming it? Sure. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I could. Okay.
Okay. Number 7. You gain optimism. When you stop drinking and gain self-confidence and self-worth, you also get, okay, that goes back to number 6. Again, I've never been more optimistic than I am when I'm drinking.
Yeah. But it's kind of like the list we did before where it's like a lot of them kind of were linked in together, but they were just getting more. They just needed more numbers.
We needed more.
Yeah.
You need reasons to quit drinking? I got 18 reasons for you, bud.
Yeah.
Here you go.
In reality, there's probably 7.
Yeah. Number 8, your brain heals. Because of chronic alcohol use, your brain is overworked. Your brain not only controls every body. Okay. When you stop drinking, the brain begins to heal. I mean, that would go over to any health.
Fine.
Any organ really is doing a lot. But I think is your liver not going to heal when you stop drinking? I mean,
they're not wrong.
Number 9, your liver can rest. I kid you not. That's it. Number 9. Liver.
Working my liver to the ground.
They're just naming organs. Like, okay, number 1. First of all, your brain gets better. Okay.
Your liver.
Number 2, your liver gets better. Number 3, your gastrointestinal tract gets way better. Number 4, you're a lot more hydrated. We could just name organs.
Yeah.
Number 10, your skin clears up. The biggest organ.
You're not wrong, but
I mean, okay. Admittedly, I get like freckles and stuff like that on my arms and whatnot. And what are the liver spots are? I don't know what the difference is between sunspots and liver spots.
on their skin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm like, I just blame it on working in the sun.
Sure.
Because I work outside all the time. So your skin will clear up, though. I mean, that's just duh. If you don't drink as much, your skin will clear up. Yeah. Number 11, regain mental clarity. This is different than your brain healing. This is a whole other number.
Huh. All right. What's the...
Of all the reasons to quit drinking, mental clarity is a big one. Not only does your brain start healing when you stop drinking, but you begin thinking clearly too. Being clear-headed at work, in your relationship, and daily decisions. I mean, that actually would be a fair point, I'd say. Like, I've gone where like I'll like not drink for a couple weeks or whatever, and then like you wake up and you're like, wow, it's a lot less cloudy. It's a lot clearer.
So what I would say, I'm not saying they're wrong. I think that one links into the hungover one.
Maybe.
Because mental like if you're hungover, you're not mentally clear. Like you're groggy, you have that kind of cloud in your brain. But like drinking across the board though, like we're obviously drinking right now, but like if I knew that in the morning I had to do something important, I'm not going to drink the night before because I know waking up groggy would be, it would handicap me. It would not be good. But I mean, if I still drank and woke up hungover, I'm still capable of doing everything I needed to do.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit at a handicap, but like I could still do it. So mental clarity, I mean,
I personally have felt the difference of being sober for days on end and then like that feeling versus, you know, having a few drinks the next morning, not just hungover, but definitely a cloudy kind of feeling, which you can argue is a hangover.
Yeah. Because and I know, and I'm not even invalidating your experience because like everyone's different, but I know like last year I stopped drinking for about a month, just for some health reasons. So I stopped drinking for about a month, and I mean, yeah, I didn't ever have a hangover because I wasn't drinking. But as far as the mental clarity, I didn't really feel, aside from the grogginess of being like hungover, I didn't really feel a difference.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of like, but so that's why in my head it's linked to the hangover. But I could see like if in other, because everyone's different, everything hits different. Like in your case, you said when you stopped drinking, you felt the difference over the course of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. You did.
Yeah.
So maybe that applies to you.
I also kick off my shoes and walk through someone else's pool when I drink. You don't, so it's kind of it hits different for everyone.
It's all different.
Number 12, reasons to quit drinking by the Sano Recovery Center. Number 12, improves mental illness. Now, does that mean that it gets worse?
It's fucked. So that I would agree. So again, the audience.
Yeah.
If this is going to someone who's like clinical alcoholic, absolutely, I would agree.
Okay. Another point to be made is I do know alcohol being a crutch, not necessarily an alcoholic, but someone who, when they're depressed, they drink. When they're anxious, they drink. Using alcohol as a crutch, I think, definitely makes it worse. It might help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It might help initially. And that's why I'm saying it's not even just for this audience, for anyone. If you feel like you're anxious and I feel for most things, like I know a lot of people who smoke weed because of anxiety and stuff like that. And I believe, like with any medication, I think alcohol can be a medication. I think weed can. I think prescriptions can be a medication. There are several steps to take before you resort to it. Are you sleeping well, eating right, exercise, and are you involved in your community? If you're doing all that and you're still depressed, then yeah, maybe get some medical help.
Because there's something going on now.
There's something going on. But if you use alcohol or weed or prescriptions as a shortcut, I think it might help in the short run and make it worse later.
It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's
a Band-Aid on a broken leg where you're temporarily
stop the bleeding.
Or you say you're treating the symptom, not the illness.
Yes.
That's a better way to put it.
And it helps. It feels better at first, and it makes it worse in the long run. So I think
that one's a fair point.
Yeah. So don't use alcohol as a crutch. And if you're using it as a crutch, you should probably quit drinking for a bit and reassess. Sure. Yeah, okay, I'll make that one. Okay, back to the organs. Number 13, improve heart health. You want to expand on that or continue?
I think it's pretty,
Yeah, number 14 is just a general health one. Lower your risk of cancer.
Do they specify what cancer, or just is that a bunch of cancers?
Your liver, obviously, responsible for breaking down alcohol, no more hangovers. Okay, well, this is an ad in the middle of that. Okay.
I'm tired of this shit where they say, like, you'll mess up your liver. Your liver has a job, and its job is to fucking fix the alcohol. So...
I mean, it's like saying, you shouldn't do push-ups because it damages your pectoral muscles.
Over time, it'll wear your arms down.
It'll wear your arms down. It's like, look...
There's some health person watching right now going, fucking,
shit.
It's not the same.
I know my unnamed relative / friend or whatever, people that know people that I'm talking about are like, you fucking asshole. You
know better than this.
I'm definitely disowned. Whatever. I need it. You all needed a
We're kidding.
Reason. We're just kidding, guys. It's all...
It's not serious. Not serious.
Okay, so 14... it does reduce the risk of cancer. So does a lot of things that are bad for you. Probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't be working in the sun as much because it's skin cancer. I shouldn't. Any normal.
I shouldn't go near that power plant all the time.
Yeah. You shouldn't get the COVID vaccine. You'll get everywhere cancer.
Turn into a robot.
Yeah. Shouldn't eat processed foods. I mean, there's okay, but no. I mean, it's true. It's true.
It's a true fact. It's just an overused fact.
It's a bummer too because it's so overused because it's still true.
It's still true.
It's very true.
It's one of those things you just hear it so much you're like whatever.
Yeah, it was just tragic. But
like tell someone who's smoking cigarettes like you can get lung cancer. They're like all right.
Yeah.
Just like fine.
Side note. You know what's hilarious is like, I wonder how many people who live to be like 80 or 90 that are smokers and then they die of lung cancer. Do they still count those as smoking deaths? They live till they're 90.
I think it would still count as if the rule in my head is if they would have lived longer otherwise.
Oh, okay.
So if the doctor says, had they not smoked
Yeah, they
for
would have,
70 years,
they would have lasted another year.
they would have lasted a few more years. It's like, yeah, it's a smoking death.
Okay.
Hit by a car? No.
No.
Not a smoking death.
Hit by a car while you were lighting a cigarette, then
Arguable.
you could have lived a little
This
longer.
is a philosophical conversation we need to have.
Well, it's written on our heads right now. We got new hats, by the way.
Got hats.
Okay, number 15. This is a good one. Losing weight. Gaining weight is uncomfortable. That was a sentence. Okay. No, it's not. Gaining weight feels amazing.
Feels amazing.
Losing weight is a bitch. Gaining weight feels amazing.
I have a great time gaining weight.
Yeah. Bill Burr always says, like, have you ever tried, losing weight, gaining abs? It's this horrible thing. You go there. Have you ever tried gaining weight? No.
If I ever made it as a big actor and someone said, hey, Mike, we need you to gain 30 pounds for this role, I'm like, on it, boss.
Be back the next week. Like, let's shoot. Let's get it.
I'm on it. Done.
But, okay, that was just why would you put that in there? It's gaining weight is uncomfortable? No, it's...
I thought you'd been losing weight. Yeah, but no, they're right. Losing weight, actually, when I stopped drinking that month or two, I stopped drinking alcohol and I stopped drinking soda.
Nice.
And doing nothing else, probably lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. See, I think losing weight should have been up there with money. It's like... It's an obvious thing that it's like, hey, remember, you're probably retaining a lot of weight because there's all that fat and sugar in your body. And if you cut out alcohol, you're going to...
They should have consolidated all the organs.
Yeah.
And put losing weight at number 2.
Yeah. Okay. Just general health, then the hangovers, then the money.
You start with the sexy.
Yeah.
There's a term I heard recently, I think it was on James Corden. You sell the sizzle. You sell the sizzle.
Yeah.
Sizzle's money and fat. More money, losing weight.
Yeah.
Sell it first. Get to the serious stuff later.
Losing weight. I mean, it's true. Anyone I know, yeah, yourself included. Like anyone I know, like I've friends and family who says, I'm only drinking on the weekends now, and I've already lost like 5 pounds in the past couple weeks. I'm like, yeah,
no, something you said
it makes sense. Definitely makes
fucking
sense.
liquid bread.
It's just fat, sugar, and yeah, that's
yeast.
about it. Yeast. Well, there was yeast.
Yes. Liquid bread. Yep.
It's good stuff. Number 16 is another good one. Get better sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely sleep better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things that so many problems with, so many problems with just people, like effectiveness, happiness, anxiety, all that can be solved if you just get good sleep. And I know that just getting good sleep is a big bridge for some people to cross. But if you get a good sleep schedule, first of all, if you force yourself to go to bed at a certain time and you sleep through the night, a 7-hour sleep on a set schedule versus a 10-hour sleep on an erratic schedule, that 7 hours is going to be way more better.
No, it makes sense.
But a good sleep is just impeccable, and alcohol does
inhibit that.
Affect your sleep.
You're right though too, because I don't. It's not a secret. It's not something I'm embarrassed about. I've had high blood pressure for several years, and I think I was diagnosed with the hypertension in 2017. Wow. I want to say, and so I take medication for it. And one thing, I'm not going to go into the details of why I haven't gotten properly diagnosed yet, but one thing my doctor said was because my lady has said, I think you have sleep apnea. Sometimes I hear that you stop breathing or whatever. And so I won't go into the reason why I haven't gotten diagnosed yet because it's a long story. But my doctor did say, she's like, look, like obviously like I'm technically overweight. So she's like, work on the weight, work on the diet, et cetera, et cetera. She's like, but sleep apnea, like you went into like how sleep's so important. She's like, sleep apnea alone could be what's fucking your blood pressure up. Ooh. I mean, not her exact words, but yes. Yeah. But she said like sleep apnea alone could be why your blood pressure is horrible. She's like, obviously you need to lose a little bit of weight, fix your diet, et cetera, et cetera. She's like, but sleep apnea will wreck your blood pressure and lead to other things. Yeah. And so that's what I'm piggybacking on what you're talking about with sleep is that sleep alone can wreck other things in your body you don't even think about.
Big time. Get a good pillow, get a mattress, set a schedule, and stick to it.
Well, even my sister now, I forgot what issue she had, but she was having some sort of health issue. And one of the things the doctor said to her was, do you suffer from sleep apnea? And she was like, I don't know. And she's like, well, a lot of this could be from sleep. And I forgot what she told me it was because I'm a great brother. I pay attention, obviously. But she said, she's like, in your mind, you would not even think that the sleep would affect this thing.
Yeah.
But you find out, no, it does.
Yeah.
So
it's like heart problems. I heard a lot from sleep apnea and stuff. And,
Sure.
And yeah, and because it was one of the hurdles my wife and I had to overcome when we were first married is that I snore pretty loudly when I sleep, and so it was like it keeps her up. And so I went and I'm like, okay, we'll research how do I cut down on snoring. First of all, sleep pattern. Second of all, how you position your head at night.
Sure.
But one of the biggest things is alcohol.
yeah.
Don't have a drink for at least 2 hours before you go to bed.
Nah.
And I'm like, what?
What kind of psychopath?
What kind of horse shit is that? And the point they made is that alcohol, whether you feel it or not, it does numb down parts of your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go to bed and that's numbed down, it's too relaxed, it causes breathing problems.
Sure.
So if you wait those couple of hours, it lets it rejuvenate and come back. And I'm like, so I tried it. And she's like, hey, what did you do? Because you slept a lot. You know, it didn't wake me up last night.
Look, I remain sober for you, bitch.
I mean, again, not my exact words, but
kind of. No. I slept on the couch that night, so she really didn't hear me.
Yeah.
No, but you're well, even like I love sleeping on my back. That's the most comfortable for me.
Well, okay.
But because of the snoring too, I think part of it's sleep apnea. I'm like, fine, I'll sleep on my side. Because even sleeping on your side helps with that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I hate it.
See, I sleep in several positions throughout the night. I'm a tosser.
I'll
I'll go all
I
over the
don't
place.
like stomach.
Okay.
Stomach's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But back on the sides, I'm good.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
number
That was number 16. Number 17, we got two more. Number 17, reason to quit drinking, improves mood stability. And I mean, yeah, it's a mood altering thing.
Again, I think that one specifically too goes to this audience.
Okay, who would you say would listen to this the most? Like,
So so mood changing this thing.
Yeah.
For instance, and we've talked about it in a previous one. I do drink to excess. I don't consider myself an alcoholic because I'm not dependent on it.
Right.
I could stop if I need to.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but it doesn't swing my moods. That I think goes to people who literally, and I've known some people like this. They wake up and take a shot.
Oof. Yeah.
They take a shower, take a shot, go to work.
Yeah.
When they go to work, they're swigging out of their desks. If they're a server, they're going to the car to the back, taking it. People who are drinking throughout the day, because now, yeah, you are tipsy through the day.
You need that to just stay. What does a lot of addicts say? That to stay medium, to stay like. You know,
but you do have a substance use, so then that sure you're prone to mood swings.
Yeah.
Like your mood's gonna swing depending on what happens. Like I said earlier, if I'm hammered and I get bad news, completely different reaction than if I'm sober and I get bad news.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm amped up, and so even if you're constantly drunk and that becomes your medium, you're still drunk. So like me, I typically don't drink. I think we talked about it before in a previous one. If I'm at work, I do not drink.
Yeah.
If there's a chance I have to go to work, I typically will not drink. There's probably a couple other examples where like I don't drink. But like if I'm like you've been over, we're have a barbecue.
Yeah.
It's noon. I don't have to go to work. Yeah, I'm fucking getting down. Like if I get off work, I go home and I'm like, cool, I'm in for the night.
Yeah.
Long day.
It's going.
I'm getting down.
It's getting.
Like I'm going for it.
Have you ever drank before going on stage?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Not necessarily because I needed to like calm the jitters, just because we were getting drunk every night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, when we did you? I'm not sure if I knew you yet. I don't think I knew you yet when we did Rocky Horror Picture Show, or the Rocky Horror Show at Fontana Mummers.
I don't think so.
I don't think I knew you yet. I was 19, so like that show was just fun.
Yeah,
because it's a Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah,
we're doing the live one where we're actually singing. We're not mimicking the movie.
Nice. Like
a lot of places, we're actually doing the show. And so most shows, like we were drinking, we're taking shots backstage, we're going on, and fucking audience loved it. Like it was fine. Outside of that, not really.
Oh, okay.
Not because I'm opposed to it. It's
yeah. No, I've it was something I learned in the past few years that like a lot of actors will like, oh yeah, we had a few drinks before, and then we went to the show and did a great show. I'm like, wow, I get anxiety thinking about it. It's like
I wouldn't.
I need to be. I'm so in control when I'm performing or something. I need every bit of my brain active, and and who knows? I might take a shot and do the best performance I've ever had. At least
because maybe loosens you up a little bit.
In my mind, it's the best performance I ever had. Again, it's that confidence that comes with
right. Well, I think with I love this should be called the Tangent Show. No, but with Rocky Horror in particular, I was 19, I was young, so I didn't really take the craft too seriously.
You
yet.
drank when you were underage?
What? Never. No, but like, so I was young, and the show itself is really fun. So it wasn't like we were doing Schindler's List on stage.
I would say that's different.
Yeah,
I would say that's
but
different.
but outside of that, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I want to know like I have my mind right, and
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
No, I had some friends who were in a production of Big Fish, and
Okay.
I went and saw the show, and they had sent me that person sent me a picture of them doing shots before the show. I'm like, this is a pretty serious show, isn't it? Okay, all right. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell, but that blew my mind. I was like, I've never drank before.
I
a
typically
show. Wow.
the only other time I'm not saying I approve of it because I think there's just a level of in theater and acting there's a level of professionalism. I've heard of people not necessarily at the beginning of the show, but when like there's a scene they have to do that's uncomfortable, like a sexual scene or
okay,
or something
maybe.
that they might take a quick swig just to be like relax. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and even then, I would say maybe in rehearsal.
That's what I'm saying. That the professionalism is like, why
Yeah.
do you need a shot?
Yeah, do it in if you need to do it for rehearsal, break that barrier.
Get into it,
Get
yeah.
into it. Yeah. And then, I mean, but if you're not professional enough to be able to handle it, then forget it.
And that's my point where I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, bruh.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Number 18, final one, reason to quit drinking. Number 18, builds new coping skills. I think this goes back to the using alcohol as a crutch kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have that as your coping skill, you'd build other ones. Common coping skills learned in recovery include being honest with yourself and others. I'm never more honest than when I'm drinking, so
Yeah.
I'd reject that one. Ask for support. I've stumbled through people's front yards asking for people to help, so I reject that one as well. Establish healthy boundaries. Okay, that might be true.
That might be
I have
true.
no healthy boundaries when I'm drinking.
I have boundaries, just not healthy ones.
Practice meditation and mindfulness. That's kind of weird. I thought they meant mediation or moderation. That's a good coping skill, but okay. Keep a daily journal. Okay, as a coping skill, okay, yeah. Join support groups and exercise regularly. I don't know. I mean, on my worst nights, it's pretty weird. But on my worst nights of drinking, my usual go-to is either wrestling or doing pull-ups somewhere. So I think I do more exercise.
I actually did hear that though. Someone made the point of like, anytime you feel like drinking, go run around, like not run around like crazy, but like go jog your neighborhood.
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah.
And then if you still feel like drinking, just keep jogging until you don't. It was something like to where like instead of
Yeah.
drinking, get healthy.
Yeah,
I
I've
was
had
like,
that with
eh.
anxiety. When I have like bad anxiety and like because my go to when I know some people are nervous eaters and stuff like that. When I have anxiety, when I'm anxious about something, I don't eat at all. It's like I'll don't eat and I can't sleep or whatever. I tried once or twice using alcohol. Like maybe if I have a drink, I'll calm down and I regret doing it. But anytime I have anxiety, I go for a walk or a run or something, kind of run it out, kind of
Yeah.
whatever, and it helps. Helps a lot better. It's a lot healthier. So.
It's a little healthier, yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, thank you.
Final thoughts on the list.
I'd say about a third of them were common sense, good. You know, yeah. I think one or two of them were. Oh, you know what? That is a good point. But most of it were repetitious.
I feel like the previous list we've done as well. It's there's always a good handful of them that could have been condensed into. Like I think this list probably could have easily been 10.
Yeah.
Because you took you took an idea and you
18.
dissected it into multiple things.
Yeah, but you got your heart, your brain, your skin, your
That,
liver.
But that's what I'm saying. That one could have been improve your physical health, like
Yeah,
your inner health.
absolutely.
And then list the reasons. It'll help your liver. It'll help your skin.
Right.
It'll help your heart.
Right.
But instead, they dissected it and took it apart into 4 or 5 different things.
Again, it's that quota. We got a list of stuff to
Yeah.
come up with.
And like you said, even the crutch thing, like that, the idea of using drinking as a crutch could have been 2 or 3 of those condensed into one.
Yeah, probably.
So-
But then again, I mean, some people just won't get it until you hammer out a few like examples.
Well, and I will say too, like the common sense ones, even sometimes people need to see the common sense.
right.
To where you might seem like common sense, but when you say it out loud, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Or even if it's the same point, but using several analogies to make that point, it isn't until the third or fourth analogy when they're finally like, oh, okay, now
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. But
What was it, Bill Burr? The one time he's like, I've given several fucking examples about this. You understand what I'm saying?
but I just kept going.
Yeah, but I just kept going.
Anyway, thank you for that list. That was a
It was a fun
thank you.
list.
Thank you for listening to that list. That was
Yeah.
I'll continue to look them up, and I'll have a
Hunt 'em
few of
down.
those ready anytime we want to do them.
Yeah.
Mitch's lists. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching. That was fun.
It was fun. It was fun for me
It was
to
fun.
drink while we're discussing
Why we shouldn't.
drink.
Yeah. The irony.
Yeah. It should have been called 18 Reasons to Not Be an Alcoholic.
Yeah, because no, you're right. Because we talked about the audience.
Yeah. All those points were just for people who have a problem.
Yeah, when it's 18 reasons to stop drinking. What if
Yeah.
you're someone who will have a cocktail here and
Yeah.
there, drinks on the weekend?
Yeah.
Not an issue.
How did you feel hearing this list as a bartender, as a co-owner of a bar? It's like, here's this list of reasons why you shouldn't come to my bar.
I'm not worried about it. to be honest, the list that's the people that list is made for.
Yeah. You don't want to.
You don't want at the bar. They're problems. People who just drink are fine. Like you said, the list should be called "Reasons to Stop Being an Alcoholic," which is kind of crass.
It's kind of like we're looking at it of like if England read this list, and we're just
Yeah,
like, no.
because the wording in it is strictly why you should not drink. You should stop
Exactly.
drinking.
That's
Not
why I found it. It was
maybe why it said you should stop drinking in excess, or maybe you should stop drinking.
reasons to not abuse alcohol.
Yes,
That
yes.
was, Hey, Sono Recovery Center.
Change your title.
We got a better title for you. I think we'll hit it home a lot better.
Because that's because the argument, the discussion we went to sometimes was like, okay, who is the audience for this? Because most of those were not for moderate
general,
drinkers.
yeah.
Because moderate drinkers are good,
Yeah.
especially for business. Yeah, when you have an alcoholic,
Yeah.
like people are like they're great for business. No, they're awful.
Well, it would be a good challenge to come up with a list of reasons why you shouldn't moderately drink. I'll have my sister on for that. My sister just does not drink by choice. For the longest time, I hounded her because I thought it was like just a super religious thing or whatever. And she has reasons why she just doesn't like to drink. And it'd be like, okay, well, that'd be a fun thing to get into.
I know a guy. I think you might know him too. I'm not going to say his name. He doesn't drink because I remember he told me when we were younger. He was he did theater too. He does not drink, and what he said was, it's not like I'm morally against it. Like I went to his wedding and it was at a winery.
Right.
And he was like, I don't drink because my father, I think his parents were divorced. My father drank heavily, and I haven't talked to him. I can't stand him. He was a piece of shit.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't drink because I saw what it could do to someone.
Okay,
So he never judges someone else for drinking.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't want to drink
I like
because of
that.
my experience
Yeah.
with my father.
It's like when I met people who are vegetarian or whatever, and the most valid argument in favor of vegetarianism or veganism or whatever is the health reasons.
Yeah.
The people I met when I was training at a fight gym, it was a lot of but a lot of guys on the fight team were vegan because of just how clean they ran on no red meat and no
Sure.
meat and all. And I was like, that's the best argument I've ever made. Is that like
Because
personal health
as a
kind of
vegetarian or a vegan, if you start bringing like the moral arguments, there's
Right,
there's so
right.
much gray area there anyway.
Right, yeah.
But even to repeat your point, one of my best friends, he was out here recently. He lives on the East Coast, and I kind of said like, okay, well, hey, like come over see the new house, and we'll cook you dinner. Like, what do you want to eat? And he's like, well, my wife, whatever, but like I'm vegetarian now. And I kind of asked, I was like, are you a vegetarian who eats fish or what's going on? He's like, no fish either. And I was like, all right. And when he got here, we were talking about it, and the same thing he said, I think it was a year and a half ago. He said he always had like chronic stomach issues. I forgot the details, but like just issues. And so he went to the doctor. The doctor gave him some recommendations. So he just temporarily went vegetarian. No issues with his stomach. I think he said one time he like had a small steak or something, immediately jumped back and had stomach issues.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay. And then I think he said later he like tried some chicken, instantly bad issues.
Yeah.
Even with fish. And he's like, so now he's like, if it's something rare,
Yeah.
like like Kobe beef or something, he's like, sure, I'll go for it. But he's like, I like meat, but like I also like not having stomach issues.
Feeling
So
better.
yeah, and kind of like you were saying with the MMA guys, like this dude is in shape, like he is a fit dude.
Yeah.
So in him, he's like that comes first.
Yeah. The pros outweigh the cons here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and that's when you get pragmatic about it, practical about it, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be. I'll see if I can find like a list for that in that vein. Like why shouldn't drink at all? Because
Well, I'm sure you'll probably find people who are just morally against it, who think any kind of not that they're all like the Mormon argument, where anything that modifies your body is bad.
Right. Well, again, that's my reflex too, is thinking that's probably what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But even just sitting here talking is like, look, you sleep better. Okay, that already, it's like, if you sleep better every night, except for that occasional, like maybe wine at a wedding kind of thing.
Okay.
But like those kind of things where it's like not moral, not religion reasons, but personal improvement reasons why you should drink. That'd be a fun list as we finish off our beers. But
Right. And on that note, we'll officially say goodbye.
we were shooting for 37 minutes. What are we at?
We're over 37 minutes.
Okay.
So
Are we close?
no,
Okay.
I think we're about 20 minutes over.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So thank you for joining in with us today. I'm Mike.
Hi, guys. I'm Mitch.
That's Mitch. And yeah, thank you for joining us. And goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
I like these hats.